Hey everyone, financial news here. And let me tell you, today, we're diving into a world most of us can only dream of. We're talking about billionaires. Not just how they made their money, but how they spend it. Because let's be real, who hasn't fantasized about having a Scrooge McDuck vault of cash? From mega mansions that make the White House look like a studio apartment to yachts bigger than your local grocery store, we're uncovering the spending habits of the ultra-wealthy. So sit back, grab your coffee or maybe a glass of champagne if you're feeling fancy, and get ready to explore the lavish lives of billionaires. Trust me, you won't want to miss this. Let's start with the most visible symbol of wealth: real estate. For billionaires, a home isn't just a place to live, it's a statement. And not just one home, multiple, often across continents. Think sprawling estates in Beverly Hills, penthouse suites overlooking Central Park, or private villas on the French Riviera. We're talking thousands of square feet, with more bedrooms and bathrooms than you can count. These homes are often equipped with amenities that would make a five-star hotel blush. We're talking infinity pools, private theaters, recording studios, and even helipads for those quick trips to, avoid traffic. And let's not forget the staff. We're talking chefs, butlers, groundskeepers, and even personal shoppers, all dedicated to maintaining these opulent residences and catering to their billionaire owners' every whim. Next up, transportation. When you've got $1 billion, why drive a Toyota when you can roll in a Bugatti or fly in your own Gulfstream jet? We're talking about vehicles that are practically engineered for speed, luxury, and exclusivity. Forget about leather seats, we're talking interiors crafted from the finest Italian leather, with enough tech features to make NASA jealous. And the price tags? Well, let's just say they're not for the faint of heart. We're talking millions of dollars for a single car, with some rare models fetching even higher prices at auction. But hey, when you can afford to buy a new car every week, why not indulge in a little automotive extravagance? After all, time is money and these billionaires aren't wasting a second stuck in traffic. Alright guys, when it comes to billionaires and escaping the everyday grind, forget about a weekend at a resort. We're talking mega yachts and secluded private islands. These floating palaces are basically five-star hotels on water, complete with swimming pools, helipads, and enough space to host a small country. Imagine waking up to the sunrise over the Mediterranean, having your breakfast delivered by a private chef, then spending the afternoon jet skiing around your own private lagoon. That's the kind of lifestyle we're talking about. And the price tag? Well, it's not for the faint of heart. These yachts can cost hundreds of millions, even billions of dollars. And that's before you factor in the annual maintenance, crew salaries, and fuel costs. But hey, when you're a billionaire, what's a few million here and there? The point is, these yachts are more than just boats. They're status symbols. They're a way for billionaires to travel the world in ultimate luxury and privacy, hosting lavish parties and rubbing shoulders with the elite. Now let's talk about how billionaires grow their wealth, because it's not just about parking money in a savings account. These individuals understand that to stay ahead of the game, you need to make your money work for you. That's where investing in startups and companies comes in. We're not talking about dropping a few bucks on a hot stock tip. Billionaires are strategic, often pouring millions, even billions into companies and industries they believe in. Think tech, renewable energy, artificial intelligence, sectors with massive growth potential. They're not just writing checks either. Many billionaires take an active role in mentoring the founders, providing valuable advice and connections, and leveraging their own experience to help these startups succeed. It's about fostering innovation and being part of the next big thing. But it's not just about altruism. These investments are calculated risks, carefully chosen to generate substantial returns. When a startup they've backed goes public or gets acquired for billions, their own wealth multiplies exponentially. Alright, let's shift gears for a moment and talk about something you might not immediately associate with billionaires: philanthropy. Now, while they enjoy the finer things in life, many of the world's wealthiest individuals also recognize the importance of giving back and using their fortunes to make a difference. We're not talking about dropping a few bucks in a donation jar. We're talking about establishing foundations, funding groundbreaking research, and tackling some of the world's most pressing issues, from poverty and disease to climate change and education. Take Bill Gates, for example. He's pledged to give away the majority of his wealth through the Bill and Melinda Gates Foundation. which focuses on global health and development, or Warren Buffett, who's donated billions to various charities including the Gates Foundation. The point is, for many billionaires, philanthropy isn't just an afterthought, it's a core part of their legacy. They understand that with great wealth comes great responsibility, and they're using their resources to create a positive impact on the world. Alright, we've talked about mansions, yachts, even private islands. But some billionaires, they're looking beyond this world, literally. They're setting their sights on space exploration. Now you might be thinking, Graham, isn't space travel more of a government thing? And you wouldn't be entirely wrong. For decades, space exploration was the domain of organizations like NASA, driven by scientific curiosity and national pride. But things are changing. We're seeing a new era of private space companies popping up, founded by some of the wealthiest people on the planet. People like Elon Musk with SpaceX, Jeff Bezos with Blue Origin, and Richard Branson with Virgin Galactic. These aren't just vanity projects, these billionaires are pouring billions of dollars into developing reusable rockets, space tourism ventures, and even plans for colonizing Mars. Now, I know what you're thinking. Graham, what does this have to do with me? I can barely afford my rent, let alone a ticket to space. And you're right, space travel is still incredibly expensive, a luxury reserved for the super rich. But here's the thing, these investments in space technology, they have the potential to trickle down and benefit us all. Think about it, the early days of the internet were also dominated by governments and universities. But look at it now, the technologies developed for space exploration often find their way into our everyday lives. From GPS navigation to scratch-resistant lenses, the innovations driven by space exploration have a funny way of making their way back down to Earth. Alright, let's talk about something a little different. How billionaires express themselves through art, fashion, and collectibles. You know, it's not just about parking a Lambo in the garage. It's about owning a piece of history, or a masterpiece that speaks to you, or at least makes a statement. For these folks, art isn't just something you hang on the wall, it's an investment. We're talking about dropping millions on a Picasso, a Warhol, or maybe even a Basquiat. And it's not just paintings either, sculptures, installations, you name it. These pieces can appreciate in value faster than the stock market, and they look pretty darn good in a mega mansion too. And don't forget about the world of high fashion. We're talking about couture gowns that cost more than a down payment on a house, custom suits from Savile Row, and watches that are practically ticking masterpieces. These items aren't just about looking good, they're about status and exclusivity. You see, when you're a billionaire, you can afford to wear something that only a handful of people in the world own. And let's not forget about collectibles. Vintage cars, rare stamps, antique furniture, first edition books, you name it, there's a billionaire out there collecting it. These items are often one-of-a-kind, irreplaceable pieces of history, and their value just keeps going up. Plus, it's a pretty cool conversation starter when you have guests over, right? Okay, so we've seen how billionaires live in mega mansions, cruise on super yachts, and collect priceless art. But what do they do with all that stuff? Well, they experience the world in ways most of us can only dream of. Forget first class, we're talking private jets, luxury safaris, and dining experiences that cost more than a used car. Imagine this, you wake up in your penthouse suite overlooking the Eiffel Tower, sip your morning coffee from a solid gold mug, and then hop on a private jet to go skiing in the Alps for the afternoon. That's the kind of lifestyle we're talking about. These folks don't just travel, they experience the world on their own terms with unparalleled luxury and convenience. For billionaires, travel isn't about cramming into a crowded airplane or dealing with long lines at the airport. It's about seamless, personalized experiences from start to finish. They have access to private terminals, chartered yachts, and even submarines for underwater exploration. And when they arrive at their destination, they're greeted with VIP treatment, personalized itineraries, and the best that money can buy. And let's talk about dining. Forget Michelin star restaurants, billionaires are dining at exclusive pop-up dinners hosted by celebrity chefs, enjoying multi-course meals prepared with the rarest ingredients in the world. We're talking about truffle-infused everything, edible gold flakes, and wine that costs more per bottle than your entire car. So, where do the richest people in the world spend their money? On real estate, yachts, private jets, startups, philanthropy, space travel, art, and experiences you and I can barely imagine. From owning pieces of history to traveling the world in ultimate luxury, their lives are a fascinating blend of extravagance and impact. Some of it might seem excessive, but in many ways, billionaires are shaping the future with how they spend. They're investing in technology, pushing the boundaries of space exploration, and funding solutions to some of the world's most pressing problems. The question is, if you had billions, how would you spend it? Don't forget to like, subscribe, and hit the bell icon for more deep dives into the world of money, tech, and power. Thanks for watching, and I'll see you in the next one.